Hello everyone and welcome. Today, hopefully I'm going to help you understand a little bit better the gastric pit. And I'm going to try to make this quick. Okay, so this is the gastric pit here. And this is the lumen of the stomach. The lumen of the stomach is up here in this direction. And then this is the mucosa right here. Okay? And these are little pits in the mucosa of the stomach lining. So we have a variety of cells here. These first ones up here are called surface mucus cells. Okay, surface mucus cells. And then here, the next cells down, these pink ones, are called mucus neck cells. Okay, mucus neck cells. Well, these two cells have some things in common besides being closest to the lumen of the stomach. Both of these cells secrete something called mucus, obviously, but it's an alkaline mucus, okay? So it has high pH. Both cells here secrete alkaline mucus. Okay, they secrete alkaline mucus. And why is that important? That's because in the lumen here, we have a bunch of stuff, but a lot of hydrochloric acid, okay? And it has low pH. Low pH. That means it's acidic. Acidic, okay? And these cells, they have a role that's important to secrete this alkaline mucus to protect the mucosa of the stomach from this stomach acid, okay? So alkaline has high pH, right? Acid has low pH. So they kind of cancel each other out here at the surface. So this acid isn't damaging these cells, okay? Okay, so the surface mucus cells and the mucus neck cells, they both release an alkaline mucus, okay? Very important. Now we come down here a little ways, and we have, let's see, these are going to be chief cells. Now we have a bunch of important cells down here. These are called chief cells. And what do chief cells do? Chief cells are pretty cool. They release an enzyme called peptinogen. Peptinogen. Now, peptinogen is a precursor enzyme to peptin, which is its active version. And what peptin does is it goes into the, let's see, you can secrete some peptins here, these little peptins. Well, peptinogens. Goes into the lumen and is activated by the hydrochloric acid, the high pH found in the lumen of the stomach. Okay, peptinogen, it's activated by hydrochloric acid, and it's also activated by peptin. Okay, so it's activated by its active version of itself. So it's a little bit of a positive feedback loop here. Okay, the more peptin, the more peptinogen is activated. That means that there's more peptin to activate more peptinogen. Okay. And then here, these purple cells, these cells are called parietal cells. And parietal cells, they are also very important. All these cells are important. So they release two things. First, they are responsible for releasing the hydrochloric acid. They secrete the hydrochloric acid, and they also secrete intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor, hydrochloric acid, so obviously we've talked about that before. It helps break down all sorts of stuff. It also is a layer of our innate immune system and kills any pathogens that we might have ingested. And it can also take care of toxins and stuff too. But intrinsic factor is a little bit different. Intrinsic factor allows our bodies to absorb vitamin B12. Okay? Vitamin B12 absorption from intrinsic factor. And if we can't do this, that leads to what we call pernicious anemia, okay? Our bodies just can't produce red blood cells or erythrocytes. Okay, so that's important. Intrinsic factors are important. And then what else do we have here? We have G cells. Can't forget about the G cells. G cells. G cells secrete gastrin. Gastrin is a hormone, okay? It's not an enzyme, but it communicates with these parietal cells and tells them to release hydrochloric acid. Tells P cells to release hydrochloric, we'll just do HA, hydrochloric acid, okay? Now, G cells, they secrete this hormone into the bloodstream. All these other cells secrete it into this luminal space of the gastric pit, and that gets pushed out into the lumen of the stomach as gastric juice and contributes to the gastric juice, okay? So that's a quick overview of the gastric pit. It's pretty simple. I hope that was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. And then if you have any suggestions for future videos. I'm going to keep going through little pieces of the digestive system slowly. And it helps me to remember my stuff for my exams, and hopefully it can help some of you do better in your anatomy and physiology exams. All right, thank you guys.